All right. Good evening. Good evening. It's Daryl James, and this is the bridge. today should be today should be kind of hot because today we're gonna start getting into some of the deep relationship stuff that people like. Yeah, so we're gonna do the top 10 reasons why you're single, and I've got 10, but you can join me in the chat room and you can give me some of the reasons why you think that you're single or some of the reasons why you think other people are single. And maybe we'll do this in two parts because today I'm going to do the top 10 reasons why people kind of leave folks alone, why they walk away from people and leave them in singleness. T Dub, what's up, frat brother? How you feeling? Oakland, California, check Oaktown. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, so if you're listening via Facebook, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like it, and go ahead and share it so that we can kind of spread the message, spread this around. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. But if you have, then hit the notifications bell so that way you'll get notifications when I'm about to go live. I try to post them on Facebook so that people can get them ahead of time. Some people do, and some people just listen to it later, which is cool too. But so listen, so we have a lot of people who are single and they think that for whatever reason they're a good catch, but they don't understand why they're single. For some people, maybe you are a good catch and you just haven't met the right ones. But for some other people, um, you're single because of some stuff that you're doing. And so I just wanted to go through that. So number one, and this is for both sides. This used to be primarily for dudes, but now women are right in there with us. So number one is you love to claim that you're expressing your sexual freedom. You see me doing the air quotes. Um, but let's be honest. You can talk about all day, talk about how you're expressing your sexual freedom, but to other people, it still just sounds like you're a whore. I'm just saying. And so, look, here's the thing: have some discretion, especially ladies. Sean Berry, how are you, sister? How are you? So, listen, you got to have some discretion. When I was younger, we were led to believe that a lot of women were virgins who may not be. And the reason why we would think that is because we were young and they weren't just letting people run up on them and have sex with them all willy nilly. They weren't just out there just wilding out. Preston James, what's up, big brother? Um, and they had discretion. So, we got to get back to that. For me, it's problematic when I start dating a woman and she starts telling me how many dudes that she's been with. I told the story before on one of my lives that I got with a woman that I had been, jonesing for when we were younger. 10 years later, she was divorced and people put us together and we sat down. You're doing better, Sean? That's good. That's good. Yeah, Sean's whole family was dealing with COVID, and they thank God they didn't, go all the way down. And so yeah, I'm glad to know everybody's feeling better. That's a good situation. But yeah, so this young lady and I, people put us back together because they knew we liked each other. So we got together, dinner, first date, which I don't normally do, but I knew her already. So I was really kind of, anxious to get in and get with her. So we get together, man, before they even drop the meal, she tells me that, oh, yes, since I've been divorced, I've just been out here getting it, trying all flavors. I'm just like, come on, I don't want to hear that. Another chick, and she's a psychologist, so I hope that she's getting some therapy because we met. She fine as wine, and I'm thinking it's about to be on and cracking, and we had a lot in common. But she's telling me, she's like, yeah, since I've been single, I just been smashing, smashing, smashing. And I'm just like, yo, nasty ass. So anyway, yeah. So, ladies, I know that you're learning from white people and from feminism that it's okay for you to express your um, sexual freedom. You can express your sexual freedom. Talk about that with your girls, but when you talk about it with a man, we don't have to evolve. We don't have to change how we view sex and sexuality. So if you're telling us that you've been with a bunch of dudes, then we're probably gonna think you're a whore. And you can be mad if you want, but it's kind of what it is. Steely Dan, what's up? What's up? Damon, how are you, frat? Yeah, yeah. Glad to see you in here. Yeah, so let's be careful with that. Look, anybody who's over 40, let me tell you what that means. It means that you've had a past, you've had a life. You've been out there, you've had relationships, you've done some things, whatever you've done. This isn't about judging you. What it is about discretion. So, you gotta have a situation where, you know, keep some of this shit to yourself. Yeah, Sean, that's real talk. They're putting Lori Harvey on a pedestal, and I don't know why. She's like 22, 23. She's been with Sean Combs, P. Diddy. She's been with his son. Then she was with him. So come on, you ran through the father and son. She's been with a few other celebrities, and people are like, no, this woman is not a whore. Sorry, the word still means what it means. And, you can talk about being enlightened or evolving or whatever, but some shit just doesn't evolve, and some behavior isn't enlightened. So yeah, she's in her 20s and she's letting everybody hit it. That's still whore. So women can say amongst themselves whatever it is, but you can't be out here thinking that you're a good woman and you're wifey material and you're ready to get down, and basically you you drug it around. What's the old BVD? Me and the crew used to do her, and yeah. So if me and the crew used to do her, then I'm not taking her home to be a wife. So yeah, so ladies, if you are wanting to be wife material and you want brothers to take you seriously, then you got to let your past stay in the past. Don't think that it's going to make you look like some beautiful, strong, independent woman. All of that is bullshit. Because at the end of the day, when you sit down with a dude, he wants a woman who just hasn't been out there. He doesn't want to walk down the street and have every Tom, Dick, and Harry be like, "Oh yeah, I hit that. Yeah, I hit that. Yeah, I hit that." That's just that's not a appealing. They would call Lakeisha in the Hood a hoe. Yet she's lifted up. Yeah, Lori Harvey. That's right, Sean. She's lifted up as the role model because of status, and it's so stupid. Quit playing the games. Look, ladies, if you want to get out there and you want to drag that thing around and give it to everybody and let everybody bang it, that's okay. Do it. But and we shouldn't be mad at you for getting out there and doing what you're doing. But don't be mad at brothers who don't want that. That's it's kind of nasty to just be out there. I mean, look, AIDS is still around. So is herpes and gonorrhea and syphilis. And we're not going to assume if you've been with a bunch of dudes that everybody wore a condom, right? And plus, just even in general, like there's some spiritual things going on. So if you want, an enlightened brother, you can't just be out there, getting it and letting everybody bang it, Damn, T Dub, you went old school, dear Yvette. I remember that joint, LL. That's from the 80s, y'all. Early hip hop. Yeah. I mean, so, we had, there was a song by Snoop. I can't remember it, but he said that. Oh no, no, no! It was Biggie. He was talking about a chick that came to his floor, then she went to Caesar, Little Caesar, went to his floor, and then she went someplace else because she wanted to have some more. You know, these aren't women that we're thinking, oh wow, that's beautiful, because some of us grew up with, mothers who were just beautiful people who didn't let us see what they were doing, whatever they were doing. I ain't saying that And back in the day, everybody's mama was a virgin and married or whatever. My mother was married, but what they did, whatever they did, but they didn't talk about it, and that's your personal business, and nobody needs to hear all of that. So yeah, ladies, you can talk about your sexual freedom all day long, but that doesn't mean that we're going to get on board and think you're beautiful and ready to be a wife and mother. Let's go to number two. So number two, this is an extension of the whole sexual discussion. Um, this is men and women, but women have joined men. Like, not even all men do this, but now women are doing it. It's really wild as hell. Number two, you love inviting any and everyone to put their mouth on your genitals. Newsflash, not everybody does it. Even the people who love doing it don't like, hearing you demand to do it to them. I hear the ladies, it's become popular over the last few years. Ladies are like, you got to stick it, you got to lick it before you stick it. I mean, literally, I've been on dates with women who, we're not even having sex, we're just getting to know each other. And they're like, hey, I just got to say up front, if you ain't going downtown, then ain't no reason for us to date. And I'm like, okay, well, you should have just told me you were a lesbian. Like, what is that about? Like, what's going on where women are actually telling men that if the man doesn't lick their vagina, there's no point in dating. Now, if you like that, you like that. But really, it's at the point where that's really what you want. You don't even want like the traditional. That's a problem. That's a problem. And it's a problem how comfortable some of these people are. Look, as a man, if I rolled up to a chick on the first date and was like, yeah, baby, I can't wait to get you on your knees so I can get in that throat. He'd be like, oh my God, this dude is nasty. He's crazy. Or maybe not. But yes, but most women would be like, what the hell is wrong with you, fool? Ain't nobody about to do all of that. I don't know you. But yet, a lot of women today are very, very comfortable inviting men to put their face in their vagina. And I know, you've seen a lot of stars do it, you see celebrities do it, so you think it's cool. I think the worst example is Gabrielle Union. She told the world, she told the entire world that she and her husband lick each other's booty holes. I don't know what she was thinking about. I don't know what they were thinking about when they decided to lick each other's booties. That's a problem. But the fact that she thought it was okay to tell the entire world what she and her husband do, it's pretty nasty. And so I hope that they stay married and stay happy, because if she ends up back out there, she's going to have some problems with dudes who are like, you are fine, Gabrielle, but you lick booty hole. I'm not going to kiss you because you lick booty hole. I don't know if she's going to be getting any major roles anytime soon. I don't know if a dude is going to want to do a scene with her, knowing, I got to do this love scene with you, but you probably licking your husband's booty hole last night. So again, I don't know. Well, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know where this stuff comes from. It comes from outside of our culture. And it's a problem because back in the day, if you asked a black woman to put your penis in her mouth, her brothers were probably going to come and beat the hell out of you. That's just what it was. And she may pull out a knife and try to cut your thing off. You just didn't roll up on a black woman like that. And they would tell you, you better go get a white woman. And people can say I'm racist, whatever. It is what it is. That's just what was happening in this culture. Black women weren't just running around like, hey, put it in my mouth. And if they were, again, it goes back to number two. Do what you do, but have some discretion. Like, just being all out there is not okay. It's just not okay. Like, why are you inviting everyone you meet to put their face in your vagina? Like I said, it's not cool when dudes do it. A dude knows that, you can't just roll up on a chick on the first date if she's a good chick. She's a chick with substance, some discretion, and got, a certain level of sophistication. You can't go on the first date and ask her if you can put your penis in her throat. So it doesn't make sense for these sisters to go on first dates and start talking about how they want a brother to put his face in their vagina. I wear a full beard right now, but sometimes I just wear the goatee. And I went on a date with a chick, and the first date, we having coffee, and she's like, "Ooh, I can't wait to ride that goatee." I just stared, blinked twice, stood up, walked away. Like, there's nothing for us to talk about, you nasty ass. Stop. Look, some stuff is for the bedroom, uh, and some stuff is for regular conversation, trying to get to know each other. But if you start telling a man on the first date that you want him to put his face in your vagina, some dudes will be like, let's go. They're ready for that. But some guys who have a little substance to themselves, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, she's from the street. She's for the streets. And so they might get with you and, bang, and take you down like I used to do. I'd hear women say that, when I was young and I was a hoe. I'd hear women say that and I'd be like, okay, cool. We'll do 69, baby. We would do 68, not or and I probably owe more than 69 because yeah, that's just what it was. That's nasty. So anyway, stop inviting everybody you meet to put their face in your vagina, and dudes, stop inviting every woman that you meet to put your penis in her throat. That's these are things that even if you do them, they should be inside of relationship. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and hit the thumbs up for me, and like it, and share it, to your timeline. And if you are watching it on YouTube, go ahead, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But if you are a subscriber, hit the bell, the notification, so that you'll know when I'm going live. All right. So number 3, everyone you've dated and everyone who looks like them is wrong, and you're a victim. Look, unless you're Jesus or you're a saint, you've probably made some mistakes. If you can't admit to it and then grow from it, you're probably broken beyond repair. Now, we all know someone, we know friends, and we know people we've tried to date who talk about, men who talk about all women and women who talk about all men, because they've had some bad experiences and they feel like that's just um, what's out there. Your experience is not the entire diaspora. Like when I hear back in the day, and I still do it now, I hear a sister say, well, all men are blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, why did you fuck all men? Like, you shouldn't have done that. And, so we've got to get to a situation where we understand that even if we've had bad experiences, that's not everybody. Everybody's not the same. We might have some bad experiences with 5, 10, however many people you've dated. If you've only had horrible experiences, you are the common denominator. It's all about you. You are the one who, number one, allowed those people to be with you and to be in your space, be in your circumference, the whole shot, and you allowed them to stay. Once you realized that they were broken, you tried to work it out, and so now you're broken. But that doesn't mean that everybody's messed up. I talk about, women a lot, the women I've dated and, women I've talked to, and I'll say that, women, you won't hear me say all women. Because here's the deal, I think that most black men and women are decent human beings and who are looking for other decent human beings. But I also think that, a lot of us have had like some really, really bad experiences. And instead of learning, we've allowed those bad experiences to become our reality. Sean says, keep picking the same people. It's not them, it's you at some point. Absolutely right. At some point, we have to realize that well, like I said earlier, we're the common denominator. If you dated 10 people and all 10 of them are trash, you're a trash collector. You're the trash man or the trash woman. So you got to do something different. You know what I mean? You can't just say that all of these people are garbage. You're not a victim. If you've been treated, poorly by one person, and you were young and you just didn't know any better, then maybe you were a victim to that person. But then when it gets to be three, four, most of the people that you've been with, you're not a victim anymore. You're making a choice. That's what you like. That's who you are. That's how you get down. And, you know, that's just what it is. So, yeah, you're not a victim. So stop saying that all men or all women are bad people, especially within the black community. Stop saying, "Oh, black men ain't shit, black women ain't shit. These people, they blah blah blah. They this." Nah, not all of them. Look, there are 45 million black people now. If you've dated some millions, I don't even know how you're still standing. But if you've dated some millions, then we can use your dating as a sampling to then make some kind of statement about all men or all women. But if you've only been with, shit, I know some of y'all in the Century Club, over 100 served. And so that's still not a sampling of anything, because that's, like I said, 45 million black people in here. So stop thinking that all of one group is horrible. That was number 3. So number 4, you've never been on your own for any real time. These are reasons why you're single. Never been on your own for any real time. You break up with someone on Tuesday, you got a new dude or a new chick on Tuesday. Shit, same day. Just never give it any rest. Your heart's worn out, your brain's worn out, your soul's worn out, your genitals are worn out. Just everything's just worn out because you move from the next one to the next one, the next one, the next one. Got to get that thing some rest. Reginald Hicks, what's up, brother? Good to see you in here. He said, call me Western Waste. Although my route runs through the high rent district, one thing for sure is that some garbage is better than others, but it's all still trash. Well, brother, if you're the trash collector, well, you said it. Call me Western Waste. That's right. That's right, man. And I know what you mean about running through the high rent district, because people think that these sophisticated folks, and in our case we date black women. People think that black women who have degrees and good jobs in their house, and they're educated, and they can't be. No, they can be. They can be trash too. And you got to take a break from the one we're on now is being on your own for a while. So if you've only been um, with trash, then that means you're the trash collector. Or Reggie's case, Western Waste. You're a funny dude, man. But yeah, so listen, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, you end up with some disturbing energy, because if you've only been with some really screwed up people, you've exchanged energy with them. And so you end up with some disturbed and disturbing energy that you're going to end up sharing with other people. So at some point, you got to stop, right? You got to take some time, and let yourself heal. Look, if you're a baseball player, right, and you injure your elbow, you're a pitcher, you injure your elbow, you can't keep pitching. You got to stop for a while, let that elbow rest. Otherwise, you're going to burn it out. And dating is no different. So if you're dating horrible, horrible people, at some point you got to say, you know what, I'm going to take a break. And this is especially, and people are going to think I'm picking on women. I don't give a shit. I date women, and that's who I know the most about. I've never dated a man. I can only speak when I talk about men from either my experience or from what I've heard from other men. But listen, sisters, you take a man inside of you and you're sharing some energy in a deeper way than when a man is inside of a woman, because we exchange energy too. But you, especially when the man is in you and releases himself um, in you, we got to have a situation where you got to understand you're taking all this energy, all this different energy from different people, pieces of each person you've been with, and you just keep taking that and taking that and taking that, and it's all in there, and you ain't bothered to cleanse, you ain't gave it a rest. That's why some of y'all are crazy as hell. Because you got all these disturbing pieces of people, disturbing experiences, and disturbing energy, and you just going from the next to the next. Link B2 from YouTube. How are you? He says, or she, I don't know if you're a man or woman. The bottom line is you have to make yourself whole before you can be good with someone else. That is real talk. That's what I'm talking about. That's what this current one is in terms of why you're single. You've never been on your own for any real time. When you're on your own, and I'm going to share here, I've been single for some years, and I have also been celibate for some years. It started because my son was going through a whole lot with his mother, and he needed me, and he needed a lot of my time. You know, I eventually had to take him from her. But in addition, I was trying to do some things as far as my career is concerned. And so I needed some time. Where could I get time from? Oh, yeah, dating, because it was bullshit anyway. So I stopped dating. And so I started again. It's funny because I started trying to date earlier in 2020, and universe was like, "Oh, you trying to date? Well, here, take this pandemic, fool." Shut that down. But having been celibate and single, and for a period not dating at all, allowed me to see some things clearer, right? It allowed me to really, really focus on me, to kind of cleanse my spirit, to focus on what I wanted so that I'm clear about it. So whereas before I might have went on a few dates and, you know, tried to bang it out and then be like, oh shit, you crazy. Oh, thanks for the sex. I'm out. But once you get to the point where you cleanse and you've had some time by yourself, then what happens is that you can see more clearly. So then it got to a point where, you know, some of these women didn't even get to a date. You know, it might have been a phone call. And I'm like, ah, yeah, oh, really? All right, disappear. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. Oh, Lynn's Collins Battle. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That's my friend Lenny, who is watching on YouTube. But so listen, we are not meant to just, I mean, unless you're a prostitute, then go prostitute. If you're a whore, get to whoring. But we're not, you know, because we're human, we're not like animals. We can actually deal with sex and relationships on a higher level. Steely Dan, that's Dana, says, respect to you for your sacrifice for your son. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, anybody who has known me for any time period, or, you know, you pay attention to my Facebook posts or whatever, you know that I've put my son number one since day one. And so when he needed more from me, I had to figure out a way to give him more. You know, I take this whole fatherhood thing seriously. And let me say one more thing about that, since, you know, since I'm on it. You know, men tend to tell women, and other women tell women, that if you're a single mother, you shouldn't be out here hoe hopping and bringing every dude you hoeing with in front of your children. Same goes for men. My son has not seen a lot of women running in and out of our crib. That's just, that's not good. That's not healthy. And the things I talk to him about, I talk to him about wanting to be with a good woman. I take him in front of married couples and people who are stable and who love the opposite sex. The black men in his circumference love black women. The black women in his circumference love black men. So it's important for him to see that growing up, because when I was growing up, I grew up in a house where there was a man and a woman and they were married, you know. So I'm not married. That's my goal because I want him to see that. But that's why for me, I had to shut it down. I didn't want a whole bunch of chicks just flying through here. My son doesn't need to be like, oh yeah, my dad is the man. He's smashing chicks. He got 3 of them running in here every night. Nah, that's for young dudes who don't have a whole lot of responsibility. So that's where I'm at. Tobias, Tabby. You know what? I keep wanting to pronounce it Tabias because it's an A, and I'm used to it being an O, but it's Tobias. I know. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you in here. So yeah, we got to get to a situation where we take some time, we cleanse, because when you're involved with someone, you get involved with them in a relationship. You're exchanging mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and you don't just break up on Tuesday and then you good on Wednesday. You got to take some time to process it. Number one, you got to process all the stuff that you went through so that you can make sure that you understand what you did that wasn't cool, what they did that wasn't cool, and don't just break from it and be like, oh, they ain't shit, and all people who look like them ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. Man, I cringe when I hear women say that, and I'm just like, white people think you a nigga too, right? Okay, just checking. So anyway, yeah, so that was a big one right there. You've never been on your own for any real time. That's one of the big reasons why you are single. And that was number 4, wasn't? Okay, cool. So number 5, top 10 reasons why you're single. And also, if you're in the chat room, feel more than comfortable to give me a reason why either you're single or a reason why you think people are single, and I'll be happy to bring you into the conversation. Please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, or in someone's case, they gave me a smiley face. They're laughing because some of this shit is funny. But yeah, so please like and then share this to your timeline. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell as well. Number 5, you are single because you've never been in a committed relationship. And this is for older people. How the hell did you turn 40 and you've never had a relationship? Now, when I was younger, I didn't see it a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really ask these sisters if, hey, have you been with a guy? Have you had a relationship? But when you get over 40, you really want to, pull somebody's card. For the good girls, who are decent women, you just want to know what you're working with. But for some of these chicks, you got to pull a whole facts, right? You go to buy a car, you want to check the Carfax. You try to get with some of these chicks over 40, you better check the whole facts. And so over 40, I have found that there are a lot of women out there who have gone through their entire lives. And not only did they not get wifed up, you were never anybody's girlfriend. That's a little scary. So, look, a lot of people started banging. I'm going to say 15, although we know some people start screwing at 13. So, if you are 40, you started screwing at 15, that is 25 years of screwing, and nobody wanted to hold your time. Nobody wanted to keep your attention. You've never had a relationship. That's a problem. And you should look at that. That's why we go back to number 4. You got to be on your own for some time. How did you turn 40 and not have ever a relationship? That's a problem. You ain't never been nobody's woman. You ain't never been nobody's man. You just been rolling. You over 40 now. You just been by yourself. Lynn says, I know a lot of women who are single because of unrealistic expectations from relationships. Ooh, perhaps because they don't know what a relationship is. I think we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to deal with it now because that's yeah. That's coming up. But let's go ahead and let's Take some time on that now, Lenny. That's real talk. A lot of people, but especially women, and I know y'all think I'm picking on women, but let me tell you why I say especially women. 85% of the whole fantasy industry is targeted towards women. The whole thing with marriage, with weddings, with destination weddings, with what a man is supposed to do for you on a date. All of this fantasy, all of this made up bullshit is targeted at women. Dudes are just like, yeah, I hope she's nice to me and then I want to have sex. I mean, we're not that simple, but we're a little more basic. But I think a lot of women get duped. This is all women, not just black women, get duped by the fantasy industry into what they think a relationship is, and it has nothing to do with what actually happens. And that's really kind of crazy. So when you hear these sisters saying, "Oh, the man has to be a provider, he has to do this, he has to do that," like who the hell did you see do some of this shit? What? Right? Like stop that. Lynn says, "Oh man, another good one. You about to take all of them. How do they have 3 or 4 kids and never had a relationship?" I just asked, "How are you 40 and never had a relationship?" But how the hell do you have multiple children and never had a relationship? That's really kind of crazy, because what that means is that we know you were banging. We know you were banging raw. We know that you were banging raw, got pregnant, and had the kid. Nobody stayed. And I know plenty of women got 2, 3 kids by 2 and 3 or 4 different dudes, and none of the dudes are involved. That's about you at some point. Like, what choices did you make? And why can't you just let that thing rest? Just give it a rest. How do you? That's a good question, Glenn. So I'm going to include it. And the overall question I'm going to ask about how you never had a relationship. How are you over 40 and never had a relationship? And Lynn, yeah, good one. How do you have multiple children and never had a relationship? Now, look, if you got 1 kid, okay, shit happens. But when you get to 2, and with some of these sisters and brothers, you got 3 kids or more, but you've never been in a relationship. You're a whore. Sorry, you for the streets. That means, because if you haven't been in a relationship, that means you just been freestyle fucking. Freestyle. Just let's get it. Just bumping ugly. Smashing, smashing, smashing. That's a problem. And then you get to a point in your life where you're like, oh, I just want to settle down. Well, it's not that simple. And, I'll do another show where we can talk about some of the things that are in a relationship, and I'll bring some of the information from our relationship coaching and lecture circuit uh, days, and talk about what goes in a relationship. Some shit is really, really basic, really basic. But that's why there are a lot of single people out there who are decent human beings, because not everybody who's single is single because they're trash. Now, relationship coach, I do a lecture and people will be like, well, how can you be a relationship coach and you're single? Well, you can know everything you need to know and be ready and be a good person, but you can't, it's not like ordering a hamburger. You can't just say, okay, I'm ready. So, yeah, one of you just step up. Let's do this. No, because you're still out there in the world and there's trash out there. And so sometimes you keep running in the trash, or you might run into someone who's a good person, but for whatever other reason, it just doesn't work. Other people, their friends, whatever, bad ideas. So, yeah, you got to get to a situation where you start to create some understanding. And if you're over 40 and you've never been in a relationship, if you've got 2 and 3 kids, and you've never been in a relationship, you need to check yourself, because you've already wrecked yourself. Maybe you can fix it. Maybe you can fix it. That's right. Not everybody is, you can't take advice from everybody. Tobias says Bill Clinton is married, and I'm not taking any marriage advice from him. Real talk, brother. Real talk. I ain't taking marriage advice from him. I ain't taking marriage advice from Monique. I ain't taking marriage advice from Gabrielle and Dwayne Wade because they lick each other's booties. So, Ronnie's Foreman, what's up, Queen? How are you? So, yeah, you can't just take advice from each other. So, what was that number five? One, two, three, four, five. I guess I should have numbered these damn things. Number six, you've had the same goals since you were a child, and they are basic. Find someone to give you what you want. Number six on the top 10 of why you are single. Look, when you are a teenager, maybe early 20s, you are only concerned with you. The world is about you. You think the world revolves around you. You think that about jobs. You think that about friendships. And certainly you think that about relationships. But once you get to 30, you start getting a little age and wisdom to yourself. You know, you got to have a situation where you gotta, look. We hear the women, and I'm pulling it out on women because women are more into the whole relationship discussion situation than men. We'll discuss it and try to be practical, but women think that they have it down to a science. No, you just get more misinformation. But so women have these long lists. He's got to be this, and then I just ask one question. Cool. Those are all the things that you want. What do you have to offer? Right, right. Like you can't just say I want A, B, C, D, E, and then you don't even bring A to the table. Ricardo Love, what's up, brother? Hey, you didn't get here on time, but you're here on time. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, and thank you for sharing. Yes, please, guys, if everybody who's listening, if you can give me a thumbs up on Facebook, like it or love it or laugh at it because some of this shit is funny, and then share it. And if you're on YouTube, also share it, but subscribe and hit the bell, the notifications button. So yeah, if you've got a situation where everything's on, as a relationship coach, here's what I did. I had the relationship workbook, and I would have couples fill it out so I could then work and evaluate it and create a discussion between the two of them. But they would both create lists. Two of the lists, one was, this is a list of what I want. But then you make a list of what I have to offer. So again, when you're young, you just focus on what you want and what you want only. But as an adult, over 40, you got to start putting together a list of what you have to offer. And if it ain't much, then that's why you got to go back to the earlier numbers in this piece and actually start to be by yourself, start to make sure you're looking for a committed relationship, and then you got to work on yourself. And that might mean that not might that means you need to be by yourself. So if your goals are so basic that they only involve what you want and don't even touch on what you need, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. You got to grow up and start. You hear the sisters who say, "I want a man who's a provider." They don't cook, they don't clean, but they think they're getting a ring. Get the fuck out of here. You got to bring something to the table. We're struggling out here, black men and women. When we come together in a relationship, it's not so that someone can drain us and suck us dry. It is so that we can partner up and make our lives better. So you can't just be looking for a provider and you don't cook, clean, you ain't gonna do the laundry, you're not gonna do anything. You gotta have something to offer. And I know there's some dudes out there pimping, trying to get with the chicks and just lay up on her couch and not do anything. That's wrong too. We have to, again, I said it in an earlier show, one of the most revolutionary things that we can do is to form a relationship that then makes everybody better. It makes everybody stronger. And that's what we should be looking for. So that was number six, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so that was number six. Number seven, which is an extension of number six is that you're selfish. That is a huge problem. You can't use a relationship as a means of getting the things that you want in life, particularly over 40. You can't turn 40 years old and decide, well, my life didn't work out. So I still want a house. I want to travel. I want, a nice car. Let me get with this person who has those things. Now I got them. It's not practical. And yeah, Sean says we can do bad all by ourselves, but we can build with each other as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? We've heard that before. So what a relationship is a partnership. It's a corporation. It is an agreement that we will build each other so that, together we're better. What a relationship is not, is something that you can use to get the things you want. And I always say to women, because it's women running around here talking about, I want a provider. And I always say, if you are over 40 and you are looking for a provider, you have failed at life. You hear me? If you're over 40 and you are looking for a provider, you have failed at life. Because if you're over 40 and you're single, you should be already paying your bills. You should be taking care of yourself. So when you get with someone else, you should add to them, not take away. Yeah, so number seven, don't be selfish. If you're selfish, then that's why you're single. Again, these are the top 10 reasons why people are single. Number eight, and we kind of touched on this earlier, you have no idea what it takes to actually be in a relationship. You have no idea what the basics are to make a relationship work. So you just repeat stupid shit that you've heard and probably got from some stupid book, some stupid discussion, some stupid magazine. And so you repeat this and you don't even have any real attachment um, to it. You have no idea. I hear, a lot of these sisters say, oh, a man's got to do this, a man's got to do that. And my first question is, you ever seen a man do that? No? Okay, cool. Just checking. Because if you've never seen what you are saying that you want, you must have seen it, even if it wasn't in your home, that you must have seen it somewhere. Maybe your friends are married, someone in your family's married, someone or in a committed relationship. If you've never seen it before, it's likely that you just made up some stupid shit. Sean says, me and my mate agree. There is no I in we. It's only we. If it becomes I, there will become a problem. That's right. So I gotta tell you, sisters, a lot of this propaganda that you guys are getting from feminism, that you're getting from magazines, movies, TV shows, throw that shit away because it is stupid as hell. And I know you get a lot of it from TV because we see on TV some of the shit that you guys try to bring into a relationship. We'll see that, the woman is a bitch, shitty to the man, but he's like, oh, I love you, so I'll just deal with it. Well, in real life, that can only last so long. Even if the dude does love her and really does want to work it out, he's human and, he's going to wear him out. And that's why the divorce rate is so high. So we've got to get to a point where we understand what goes in a relationship. So start reading. Don't read Steve Harvey. That dude, he don't know. He didn't have so many, failed relationships, failed marriages, and he didn't do any research. He just made some shit up, and y'all started soaking that shit up. But there are people who have devoted some real time into getting education or into educating themselves, into doing surveys and research, and they know what it takes to have a real relationship. And those are the people that you should be listening to. Read some books and stop listening to your friends. Stop, just on social media because someone made a post or posted a meme. You're like, yes, that's what I want. That's that's pretty damn pretty scary. So that was number seven. Let's get to wait, was that seven? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. That was number eight. Number eight was on the top 10 list of reasons why you're single. That was number eight. You have no idea what it takes to have a relationship. You're just out there repeating shit that you heard. So let's move on to number nine. Number nine, you're broken and you have no idea that you're broken. Therefore, you cannot heal. In order to, and we talked about this earlier, I think it was Lenny who talked about being whole. Yeah, she said you have to make yourself whole before you can be good with someone else. Well, that's what this is. You're broken and you have no idea that you're broken, therefore you cannot heal. That's why you're single. You're single because you expect to be fragments of a person and then get with someone who is probably a whole person and wrap your fragments around that person. Or worse, you expect to put your fragments in a bag and sit it in front of someone who is whole and think that they're going to glue it together. And then some people are stupid. They may try to put it together, but they'll end up broken. Why? Because broken people break people. It's what they do. Intentionally, not intentionally, it's what they do. Broken people break people. Another person can't heal you. You probably need some therapy, and therapy doesn't heal you. Therapy creates an environment where you can heal yourself, and more of us need to be open to therapy if we have had some emotional trauma, trauma from childhood, because some of us have childhood trauma. You may have seen mommy beat daddy. You may have seen daddy beat mommy. You may have seen some ugly shit, and now you're just out in the world thinking that you know what's good for a relationship. I'm just not gonna fight. Eh, it's deeper than that. If you're carrying trauma from as early as childhood, and even if you know that you have some trauma, but you're expecting someone else to heal you, that's not gonna work. So that's number eight. You're broken. You don't even have any idea that you're broken, so you can't heal. Being broken and not being able to heal is a huge reason why you're why you're single. That was actually number nine. I do a lot of top 10 lists, so the next one I'm actually gonna number it. So yeah, that was number nine. You're broken and you have no idea that you're broken, therefore you cannot heal. Number 10, you only want what you cannot have. And this is a good one because we hear, again, all the propaganda, all the fantasy, all that stuff. 85% of the fantasy industry is targeted at women. So we hear women more than anyone else talking about the things they want without talking about or being the things that someone else wants. So we hear them, I'm not going to settle. And these men are beneath my level. What is your level? How the hell are all these single women who, because the ones who complain, typically the sisters who are not complaining are the good ones. They're just, for whatever reason, they're single and somebody, finds them, they'll find a good one. But a lot of these loud, crazy chicks who are saying men ain't shit and men are doing this and men are doing that, typically are the worst ones, and they have these wild expectations. So not only are you unmarried, you're unmarriable, because most of these chicks who are complaining and who are saying that all men ain't shit, they're five or below on a scale of 1 to 10. Five or below, but they will only accept eight and above. That's a problem. And they get mad because you see a lot of dudes, especially successful dudes, who will get with a woman that these women feel is beneath their level. Greg Sneed, what's up, Frat? Why did he marry her? He's a millionaire. Why did he marry that chick who's working at McDonald's? Probably because she was nice to him, made him feel good about himself, and they had a really good conversation that led into a bunch of conversations, and she did stuff that he just really, really liked. See, ladies, I know that the propaganda, because it's aimed at you, it tells you that a man is supposed to be interested in you because you have a degree and a job and a car, but we don't give a damn. We don't. You can have a degree, a job, and a car, but you're a bag of shit. You're a bitch. You're not a good person. You're a whore. You're just all these things. For men too. Men can be successful and just be complete and total shit bags. It's not about things. It's not about accomplishments. It is about who you are as a human being. If you are nice to someone, then that's what it's about. And so if you and so on a scale of 1 to 10, that isn't just about you being cute. A scale of 1 to 10 is you being, yeah, good looking, pretty good shape. It is also about mentally where you are. It is about where you are emotionally. It is about where you are spiritually. These are the things emotionally. These are the things that Brother Sneeze said. You working on your book yet? Girl, here's why you're still single. No, actually, I'm working on a book called The Four Relationships, the four aspects of a relationship that people need to focus on. But yeah. I'm working on a book though, brother. Girl, here's why you single. That should have probably sell better. Maybe I should write that one first. Um, so when you start talking about what you want, that's why as a relationship coach, I used to have people put those lists together so we can evaluate. These are the things you want, but these are the things that you offer. And you can't be desiring of the prince, but you're a pauper. You're not even a princess. You're not even princess worthy. You're just trash. You're the village harlot. You're out there letting the village idiot smash. You got on your knees in front of the village idiot and let him just violate your entire throat. And then you went to the prince talking about, yeah, I'm ready, or vice versa. You have to know who you are. I hear the women saying, they want a man on their level, but you got to understand what your level is. And sometimes you ain't leveling up with these dudes, you are leveling down, or they would be leveling down to be with you. So we have to take inventory, personal inventory. Greg says, I'll give you a free one. They need 4 lists. They need, well, at least 4, because you got to have a list of what you want, a list of what you have to offer. You need to have a list of things that you can tolerate and a list of things that you can't tolerate. So at least those 4 lists, brother. At least 4 lists. So anyway, yeah. So those are my top 10 lists of reasons why you're single. It's probably more than that, but those are the things that I think make make the most sense. So again, like and share. If you're on Facebook, like it, share it, share it. If you're on listening from YouTube, please subscribe, hit that bell. That's the notifications bell, so you'll know uh, when I'm going live. And again, stay tuned because I've got some good ones coming up. Preston James is an author. He has a book on credit, and so he's going to give you the basics of credit. Dathan O'Banion and I are going to kind of dissect Black Lives Matter, the organization, which is very, very different from Black Lives Matter, the movement. And then Askia Muwakil, who just, hang on, where is it at? Just gave me his herbal prescription for a cleanse. He's an herbalist, so he's going to talk about ways to get your immunity up and things that you can do to kind of protect yourself in the event that you do get COVID so you can come out of it on the other side in a better situation. So thanks for listening. And this is Daryl James, and you have been on The Bridge. All right, you guys take care.